Penelope Rowlands is an Anglo-American author, editor, and journalist best known for her 2005 biography, A Dash of Daring, Carmel Snow and Her Life in Fashion, Art, and Letters, about the Irish-born editor-in-chief of Harper's Bazaar, from 1934-58, published works, biographies. A Dash of Daring. A Dash of Daring, published by Atria Books, a division of Simon & Schuster, was widely reviewed. BBC Radio 4 said Rowlands revived E. Snow's legacy, which encompassed all of the arts, beyond just fashion. The Irish Times called the book as vibrant and engaging as a Dorothy Parker piece, and full of Snow's spirit. Fashion editors in particular, weighed in. Susie Menkes of the International Herald Tribune wrote that Penelope Rowlands tells a dense, fast-paced story and deftly puts it in the context of magazine history. Carmel Snow comes vividly to life. Vogue's Anna Wintour called it a wonderful new biography in the editor's column of the September 2005 issue. The biography was excerpted in US Vogue in September 2005. The British version of Harper's Bazaar also published an excerpt. That text ran in the January 2006 issue, the first one since the publication was transformed from the former Harper's and Queen. A Dash of Daring was published in Britain by Simon & Schuster UK in 2006. A US paperback edition came out 2 years later. Rowlands is also the author of short biographies of the European industrial designers Jean Prouvé and Eileen Gray, both published in 2002. Anthologies. Paris Was Ours. In 2011, Rowlands conceived, edited, and contributed an essay to the anthology, Paris Was Ours, which looked at the transformative effect the French capital has had on a disparate, international group of contemporary writers, including Edmund White, Diane Johnson, the Cuban novelist Zoe Voltez, Judith Thurman, the Iraqi-born Assyrian editor Samuel Shimon and a homeless French blogger. Paris Was Ours was chosen as the January 2011 Book of the Month by National Geographic Traveler magazine. Rochelle Olson of the Star Tribune noted the book's realistic approach. In dismantling the dream of Paris, they reveal an infinitely more complex city and people, she wrote. The Chicago Tribune called it a sparkling collection. Charles Solomon, writing for the Los Angeles Times, warned that some of the essays tell the reader more about the author's peccadillos and prejudices than they do about Paris or Parisians. The Beatles Are Here. In 2014, Rowlands edited and contributed to the tribute anthology The Beatles Are Here. 50 years after the band arrived in America, writers, musicians, and other fans remember, was published to coincide with the anniversary of the group's arrival in the U.S. James Walcott described it in Vanity Fair magazine as a goodie bag of tributes and recollections, while the music critic of the Boston Globe, James Reed, called it one of the more fascinating new books on the Fab Four's impact. Publishers Weekly called it compulsively readable. Kirkus Reviews referred to it as a bonbon for fans. Journalism. Rowlands's journalistic work includes articles on cultural subjects written for publications such as Vogue, The New York Times, Wall Street Journal Magazine, The Daily Beast, The Columbia Journalism Review, and Elle Decor. She has been a contributing writer to Architectural Digest and a contributing editor to Art News and Metropolis magazines. She has also written book reviews for The Wall Street Journal, The San Francisco Chronicle, and other publications. Background. Born in London to an American mother and a British father, Rowlands migrated to the United States with her family at the age of 5 and was raised in her mother's native New York City. She is a citizen of both the U.S. and Great Britain. She received a BA from Bard College and an MA from Stanford University. She has lived in California and Paris but now resides in Princeton, New Jersey. According to a 2018 book review by Rowlands, published in the Wall Street Journal, she is a great-great-great-great-great-grandniece of David Hosack, the subject of the biography she was reviewing, American Eden, David Hosack, Botany, and Medicine in the Garden of the Early Republic by Victoria Johnson. Bibliography. 2014. The Beatles Are Here. 50 years after the band's arrival in America, writers, musicians, and other fans remember, Algonquin Books of Chapel Hill. 2011. Paris Was Ours. 32 writers reflect on the City of Light, Algonquin Books. 2005. A Dash of Daring, Carmel Snow and Her Life in Fashion, Art, and Letters, Atria Books, Simon & Schuster. 2002. Jean Prouvé, Visionary Humanist, Chronicle Books. 2002. Eileen Gray, Modern Alchemist, Chronicle Books. 2000. Weekend Houses, with photographer Mark Darley, Chronicle Books.